everybody, it's me, Zach. Under that blanket is Potato, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. Hi. Hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I don't know why. I don't know. Something felt off about that intro. But anyways, we're here. We're here today because the old Amberlynn Reed uploaded a new Weigh-In Wednesday video, which is just, you know, stunning. I honestly wasn't even sure we'd have any type of schedule again or a Weigh-In Wednesday again. She posted last week in her Weigh-In Wednesday video that she wasn't sure if she was going to keep going. And honestly, well, let's start with the name of this vlog, this video, which is What My Crush Thinks of My Size, bar, most shocking weigh-in yet, bar, February 14th, 2024. And I guess I wanted to talk about the title first because I think the most shocking weigh-in yet alludes to the fact that she did, in fact, lose weight. That's just my prediction because that's the only reason I can see as to why she decided to do another Weigh-In Wednesday. You know, I feel like if she had another bad week, she probably would have skipped over it, to be honest. That's just my prediction. I could be wrong. That's based on nothing but, like, my own gut instinct about what's going on. And I've been wrong before, so I could be wrong again. I also want to say that, of course, she posted a Q&A on her community tab post to ask people for their thoughts, feelings, questions, etc. about her weight. And I was going back to look for the particular comment I was thinking of, because for a long time, whenever you went to that community tab post, the top comment was something along the lines of like, you know, like, why don't you just use one of the 1,200 other posts you've made either here or on Instagram to answer questions that have already been asked, because Lord knows you haven't answered every question that was there. And I'm just like so glad we're all on the same page that, like, one, she's posted this so many times, it's like, please just start using questions that have already been asked. But then two, a lot of other comments were like, what is left to be asked at this point? Which, like, I agree, and I've said multiple times when it comes to her posting Q&As, like, at some point you can't just post a Q&A every week when you don't give us any other new content, because it's like, what else is left to ask? Now, I will say what I do think one of the questions was somebody asking about what her Valentine or whatever her crush thinks of her size, which is why that's in the title. And I do think that, I guess that's like one new thing we know about her life that people can ask questions about. So, you know, here we are. I would guess that anybody talking to Amberlynn at this point doesn't care about her size. And good for them. Happy for them. Love that for them. So I'm sure that that's what her answer is to that question. Also, can we talk about the concept of calling somebody your crush at like her big old age? You know, I also am amused by that as a concept, but I guess we all have crushes. But also, like, let's also keep in mind that her crush is somebody she's probably never met online before. A lot of y'all aptly pointed out that this person that she's talking to, her Valentine, her crush, her alleged best friend, is somebody she met in September, according to her. And by met, what we really mean is talk to on the internet and in the Instagram DMs or some other social media. So, I don't know. Here we are. How funny. How funny and amusing. You know what, though? It's the day after Valentine's Day, so I can get behind some love for Amberlynn Reed on Valentine's Day. So let's just, I guess, get to, shall we?
Hello.
Hi.
This is your favorite dainty 500-pound girly pop, and welcome to my new weigh-in video. You guys are about to be shook. So today is February 14th.
I feel like there's something there to unpack, but I don't know if I'm prepared to touch that. Also, I'm kind of like appreciating how she added a little, do you see the little beauty mark she added next to her eye? Am I about to be shook? I feel like probably not. Is Alex shook? Alex might be shook, but I think that's just his name. Am I about to be shook? Are we about to have Zachary Michael is shook? the third spin-off channel, YouTube channel. Should I start a new channel called Zachary Michael is shook?
Wednesday, Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. That is why we're wearing some pink earrings. That is why we have a heart here. So
that's a heart. Oh, that's a heart. Okay, that's a heart.
These earrings are actually my Barbie earrings.
We should have gone with Barbie. Should have gone with Barbie.
Happy freaking Valentine's Day.
Honestly, Barbie would have been such a bigger sleigh.
I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. I personally am.
My Valentine's Day was fine. Outside of posting the apparently very controversial video about Chantal yesterday, my Valentine's Day was great. I just spent the night with Noel. We had dinner at home, and we watched like 3 episodes of Downton Abbey, which if you don't know, we have embarked. Well, Noel has watched it like all the way through like 1,200 times, but this is my first go-through watch of Downton Abbey. And we're on season 6. We finally made it to season 6, which is the last season, and then there's 2 movies. And I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do once I finish this show. I'm not a big like rewatcher of television shows, of movies. I like to watch it once and then be done with it. But I just love all these characters so much, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's really unrelated to Amberlynn, but that's how I spent my Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a lovely Valentine's Day as well.
Off this video by saying, I'm sorry there was no what I ate today.
Thank you. Thank you for apologizing. You could have addressed that in your last video though, but thanks for the apology.
I thought it would have been the most pointless video in the whole world.
Why?
It probably would have been 1 minute long. And you will find out why later on in this video.
I appreciate you not wanting to put out pointless content onto the internet, but one could argue that a lot of the content on your channel is pointless. I personally love it, but I do understand how people could make the argument that most of your videos are pointless. So, just saying.
I actually did not upload one, but I will say right now that I am sorry for not, like, being more communicative. Is that a word? I'm just sorry for not, like, letting you guys know, like, hey, there's not going to be a video on Friday.
Well, thanks.
I will try to get better at that.
Please.
So before we get to my weigh-in,
please.
And what I've been doing this week.
That's honestly all I'm asking. I honestly don't care if she does or doesn't post. Like, it's her paycheck at the end of the day, you know? If she doesn't post and, you know, that's her bank account that's impacting. But I would just like a heads up. I just think from like a business perspective, from like, you're my colleague, I'm your YouTube colleague, right? And if you want to be successful at YouTube, I'm just here to give advice on how to be better. It's unsolicited for sure, but you know, I just think you have a whole audience waiting for something and then you just left them hanging and then now almost a week later you're finally addressing it. I just think it could have all came sooner. But you know, I'm glad you said something. I'm glid you acknowledged something about it.
Etc., etc. We're gonna answer the 3 questions that you guys asked me. So the first question is,
wait.
We're at that. So before we get to my weigh-in and what I've been doing this week, etc., etc., we're gonna answer the 3 questions that you guys asked me.
I think what she's trying to say here is that, you know, she's picked 3 questions from all the questions that people have asked her, but the way she says it makes it sound like only 3 questions were asked of her. So that's what my initial like pause was, and why I was like, let me go back and understand better what she's saying. Because I'm like, girl, you get lots of questions and don't answer most of them.
The first question is, what diet has made you feel the best physically?
Jenny Craig.
I was only a vegan for probably less than a week, maybe 7 days.
If I recall, it was like maybe a couple days. I don't know. The vegan era was so long ago and so short-lived. I don't know how she could make an assessment of how it made her feel. I feel like when you make a change to your diet or like the things you eat, I guess just in general, you have to do it for a while to really feel the full like effects of how that has impacted your body and how you feel.
So maybe a week. I don't know. It was somewhere around there. It was not long at all, but I just remember feeling literally physically the best. I was lighter on my feet. I literally felt like a feather just floating through the world.
Girl.
Like, it made me feel really, really good.
Girl,
but
what?
I wasn't eating the healthiest. Like, my first meals in the day were super healthy. I was eating, like, carrots and hummus and things like that. And then after work, I would go home, because this was years ago. This is when I was actually a PCA worker. I would go home and I would have tons of white rice and beans and Fritos, because Fritos are vegan. And then I would, literally binge on Oreos.
Now hold the fuck up. Now hold. If I had a fuck right here, right in front of me, I would hold it up, okay? Because we are holding the fuck up for a second. She just said that when she ate vegan, it was the lightest she's ever felt. She felt so light. She felt like a dainty little feather floating through the air. But you're telling me you felt light eating a crap ton of white rice, beans, and Fritos? And Fritos. Like, girl, give me just a moment. Give me just a second. Cause, ooh. Yeah, that shit's not adding up, besties. Not even a little bit.
But I think something about taking out all of the animal products just made me feel better. But
she's just saying anything. She's just saying anything. The fact that she's even bringing up her allegedly being vegan for a while is wild to me, because that was so long ago. And since that time, she's talked about all these other diets that made her feel good, that made her feel successful. Where this vegan stuff came from out of nowhere. Are we about to have another Amberlynn Reed vegan arc?
It's never going to happen. Oh. Regardless, it made me feel physically the best. So the second question is, how do you feel about this?
Made her feel physically the best, but she was coming home and binging on Oreos, Fritos, white rice, and beans every night. All right. Okay, girly pop.
It made me feel physically the best. So the second question is, how do you feel about the success of Tammy Slayton? So I really wanted to choose this question because
I did see that. I did see that question. I want to remind y'all that, like, she did used to be a Tammy Slayton hater, and I'm glad her opinions have come around or changed or things like that, because y'all know I have liked and stand is a weird word, like stan, like STANNED, not like I stood up. I have really liked Tammy Slayton for a long time and have long been called a Tammy Slayton apologist. And I've loved Tammy at her best and at her worst. And, you know, I do resonate with the people that are like, it feels like Amberlynn is just like supportive of Tammy now because of like the clout, because like Tammy has been successful. And to be honest though, I can't really blame her, because a lot of y'all in the comments of my 1,000 Pound Sisters videos have also not been on board with Tammy until she started doing well. And I could understand where she's coming from, because a lot of people in my comments on my 1,000 Pound Sisters videos were right there with her.
I feel like people compare us a lot. That's kind of just something that happens on the internet. Like, all fat girls get compared, and that's fine. I get it. But what I feel about her success is happiness. I feel inspired. She motivates me. It's not even just success within like her weight. It's just like success within like who she is as a person.
Sure.
Like, I've always liked Tammy years and years and years ago.
Now, I know, first of all, I know she's a fucking lie for saying she's always liked Tammy. But what I was gonna say, I'm trying. I hear the feedback that I pause too much, so I really am trying to listen to full thoughts. And the other thing I was gonna say about this situation, and then we'll come back to her alleged statement of how she's always liked Tammy. The first thing, though, that I want to say is people compare you and Tammy because you both famously have, like, refused and avoided, like, actually making change in your life for a long time. And that's, I think, why people compare you, because people see a lot of things in Tammy in terms of, like, just her complete refusal to make any kind of positive change in her life, and they see that in you. That's the comparison that's being made. I do think you probably unfairly get compared to a lot of other, like, morbidly obese women on the internet, But when it comes to Tammy, I think that's where the comparisons start. Now, what's funny, and I think I've mentioned this in a video before, what's funny is her saying that she's always loved Tammy. And I think she is maybe getting ready to address that, like, maybe long time ago she didn't like Tammy or something. But it's funny because I don't think that Tammy knows that Amberlynn has loved her for so long or whatever. Because Tammy, there was this time where Amberlynn did a TikTok duet with one of Tammy's TikToks. Tammy DM'd me and sent me the TikTok, and I said, oh my gosh, I just saw that on Twitter. And she said, I'm sorry, I find this funny. She used to talk about me, and now she's doing this. And I was the one that informed Tammy that Amberlynn actually has been talking about Tammy a lot and how inspired she's been by Tammy. And so I do think in recent history, Amberlynn has liked Tammy, but even Tammy knows that Amberlynn hasn't always liked Tammy. So let me just be clear, because she also goes on to say, Tammy says to me, when did she start liking me? I've seen a live of hers and she was putting me down. And so I followed up and I sent Tammy like videos where she talks about the 1,000 Pound Sisters show and things like that. So you're welcome, Amberlynn. I'm here defending you in the DMs with Tammy. And I do think Amberlynn, in recent history has only had positive things to say about both Amy and Tammy, but it hasn't always been like that, just so we're all on the same page.
You might have heard, Trollin throw like a shade here and there.
Trollin?
It was never like true, authentic how I felt about her.
Trollin? We're blaming that on Trollin. I love when Trollin conveniently makes an appearance to like excuse all of her previous behaviors that she no longer agrees with. That was Trollin that was doing that. All right. Okay.
I've always liked Amy. I've always liked Tammy. When I see someone, regardless of who it is, when I see them lose hundreds of pounds, when I see people improve themselves in any sort of way, when I see just success in any way, like, I'm genuinely happy for the person. It's just like seeing Tammy grow and improve in like every single way, while also going through the death of her husband. Like, it just is very empowering, and I'm just in so much support of her. It's insane. A lot of people think that I'm like jealous of her. No, I'm looking at what she's doing and I'm like, damn, I can do that too. She is showing that if she can do it, anyone can do it. Okay, so
I don't disagree with that. I don't know if I think Amberlynn is jealous of Tammy or not. I think if anything, Amberlynn's happy to talk about Tammy because it does give her some clout. It gives her hope, and I think that that's important. The difference now, if like we continue the comparisons, the differences between Tammy and Amberlynn is that Tammy did finally make the choice to like work on herself. Tammy did make the choice to be like honest about her emotions and feelings and like address those emotions and feelings in therapy, which I think is a big part of Tammy's success. And she's honest with herself and more genuine about how she's feeling, and when she leans on people in her family or her support system. And Amberlynn has yet to do any of those things. To Amberlynn, it's all about the inspiration of it all. She isn't actually taking a look into, or it doesn't feel like she's taking a look into the things that Tammy's actually done to get to where she's at. I think Amberlynn's hyper-focused on like, wow, this is so inspiring, but you gotta move it past that. Which has always been one of my like kind of critiques for Amberlynn, because I think she looks at this like big pie-in-the-sky dream of one day being an inspiration to people, which is why I try to, hesitate from focusing on that. I mean, let's be honest, Amberlynn could be that inspiration to people if she did the things that Tammy did, but like that's also a problem because that's what she wants to be, and she doesn't want to do the work to be that. So she needs to focus on like her motivations for doing the work for herself before she thinks about being an inspiration, before she thinks about being an inspiration like Tammy. All of those things, like she just needs to, put up. What was I trying to say? She needs to just put up and shut up. And I think that's what I wanted to say, but I don't think that that's really what I mean. She needs to just get to work. Get to work. You want a hot body, you want a Maserati, Amberlynn, you better work, bitch. Okay? I think Britney Spears said that.
So the third question is, what does your Valentine/crush think of your size?
Okay.
So it seems like every single time I'm in a relationship, this question is like always a question that is asked, which I get it. I understand because it's a thought that I actually have internally, subconsciously, consciously. I'm aware of the thought. Sometimes I'm not aware of the thought. It's a thought that is always there, so I can understand why other people also think it. But I can safely say in every relationship that I have ever been in, their answers are always the exact same.
Okay.
It's very, I don't see you for your size. I think you are beautiful. You have an amazing personality. And that's exactly what my Valentine said this year.
And interesting. I don't know. First of all, my immediate thought is like, I do see my partner, and I hope my partner sees me for like the body that I have and appreciates the body that I have. I feel like saying the piece about like, you know, I don't see you for your size is kind of colorblind. Like, you know, when people talk about like, oh, I don't see race, like people see race, you know, and people I think do see the size of Amberlynn and her body, and I feel like that is, I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say or where I'm going? I just feel like that's like a disingenuous thing to say. I guess it could be true, and it probably is true to some extent. I just feel like if we're, you know, talking about like your sexual attraction to somebody, like certainly people's bodies are a part of that attraction for a lot of people. Maybe not all people. But I think it's like certainly a part of the formula for a lot of folks. And so I just think that that's interesting. But you know what? I'm glad somebody loves you, regardless. You know, we all deserve love. It was just Valentine's Day. Everybody deserves love or something like that, right?
She says that she doesn't see me for my size. I'm beautiful. We always have really good conversation, like no matter what we're talking about.
How can you say I don't see you for your size and then say you're beautiful? Like, I think that that's part of it, right? Like, I would realistically think that would be a part of your beauty. I guess that's the part that I'm missing. Unless you're like sapiosexual, is that the like sexuality that's like I'm attracted to like intelligence and things like that? Then I guess maybe her body doesn't matter in that instance, and she could be beautiful for her mind. I don't know. Just things to ponder. You know, sexuality is really fascinating to me. I think it's like such a huge, maybe should have picked a different word. It's just a wide spectrum. You know, there's something for everybody.
I'm funny, like she finds me physically attractive. Just my size isn't something that she sees. And trust me, I get it. It's a weird thing because it's like, how do you not see my size? Like it's confusing to me. And it's always the same answer from every partner I've been with. I almost want to say maybe to an extent.
Maybe to an extent. Part of me, I feel like this is maybe harsh, but like part of me is like, I don't know, maybe they see her as a paycheck. Maybe they see her as like securing the bag or something. I don't know. Honestly, I would also be clear, like, I don't think that Amberlynn is an ugly looking person whatsoever. I think a lot of people equate like being fat with ugly, and I think Amberlynn does a great job doing her same makeup that she does every day, and I think that like she has aspects of things that lots of people find beautiful and pretty and would not hesitate to find pretty if it were traits that were on like a skinny person. All of that to say is like this conversation is fascinating to me. I have I think more questions than I have like thoughts or opinions about what she's saying.
Because it's like when I'm in a relationship with someone, I don't see their flaws. I don't see them for their flaw. I don't stop loving them for their flaw or whatever it may be, or something that they're
for their one flaw
about. So it's like maybe in the same way that's the way they view me is like I don't see you for that flaw. I don't see you for that thing that you're insecure about. I don't know, but regardless, my Valentine says that I'm beautiful inside and out. And
to some extent, saying like you don't see people's flaws because you're in a relationship with them, I think is maybe indicative of like why a lot of your relationships haven't worked out. Because if you're going to have a successful relationship, I think it's important to actually acknowledge people's flaws and things that like make the relationship challenging or difficult for you, and that way you can work on them and have open communication for them. If you're just sitting there and you say you don't see their flaws, what you're really saying to me is like you're aware of their flaws and you're just ignoring them and not addressing them, which is probably why your relationships are challenged, in my opinion.
And that makes me really happy. I think genuinely there are just really amazing people out there who aren't shallow and that do see people beyond their weight and their size, etc., etc. But since I am my own worst enemy, sometimes it's hard to believe that, but I have to believe it because I have been in multiple relationships where people really do prove to me, like, I don't see you for your weight. I see you for so much more than that.
Sure, I think you can say, like, you know, your weight is not all I see about you. Like, I think that's accurate. I think it's just, like, not realistic to act like that wouldn't be a big part of the relationship. I think if you've listened to me up to this point, I think that's where I'm landing with this now that she has finished her thoughts and I have rambled through processing my thoughts verbally with you all. But I think that's where I'm landing on, is like, I think it's disingenuous to act like her size isn't a part of the equation. Just like it would be disingenuous for me to act like let's say we just pretended, like Noel and I just pretended in our relationship that like I am not somebody with major depression or generalized anxiety disorder, right? Like if he was like, you know, you're so much more than that. Like certainly I'm so much more than that, but it is also like a part of my life, a thing that impacts my life, impacts my relationship. So to just be like, I don't see your size. Well, certainly Amberlynn's size is probably something that's going to come into her relationship with people, right? Whether it's just like her own struggles with her size, her struggles with mobility, her struggles getting around, whatever it might be, like that is going to come into a relationship. And I think that's the part for me that's like so disingenuous to say like, I don't see you for your size. It might not be a part of like what a person finds attractive about her, but it certainly is something that's going to have an impact on the relationship because it's an intrinsic part of her. It's maybe not everything about her. It's maybe not the only thing about her, but it's certainly a part of her. Does that make sense? Did we get there finally at the end?
Like, Pops, it is time for my weigh-in.
Let's go.
Last week I was 515.0, and that was after spending time with some friends that came down for like 5 to 6 days, and I ate more than usual, walked more than usual, which I swell a lot when I walk a lot, especially like when I'm in a car a lot, which I was doing that as well. I was also drinking my calories. Like, it was just a lot of different things, and I gained some weight. So, last week, 515.0, and today, here's my weigh-in.
Here we go.
It is Valentine's Day, February 14th. So happy Valentine's Day.
Here we are.
I got a little sneak peek. I stepped on the scale yesterday, and y'all are about to be shocked.
This is all playing in exactly to my prediction. She weighed herself the day before, saw what her weight was, and was like, I feel good about this, so we're gonna do a weigh-in Wednesday. And I really do feel like she lost weight because she's just got the demeanor that she's like happy with what happened here. So I think my prediction is right. Cue to me moments later when my prediction is wrong, but I think my prediction and thought process of why we did get another weigh-in Wednesday is true. She did lose a significant amount of weight, and so she's ready to keep going.
So I hope you're ready for it.
I'm ready.
Hello. It's ready.
Your scale's ready, yes, and I'm ready.
501.2.
Wow.
501.2.
Wow.
And the haters are going to say that is not real, and I am so excited to know that it is.
The haters are gonna say it's not real. No, I told you I don't consider myself a hater. But I also don't consider myself to be somebody who questions whether her weigh-ins are real or not. Like, I just, my thought process continues to be the only person she's hurting if she's lying about that is herself,
What?
What?
We're probably super confused. Like, what is happening?
What?
Not only is my mental health right now at the peak that it's been in a very long time, I feel happy. I feel hopeful. I feel motivated. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get my shit together. Like, I need to get my shit together.
I mean, okay, her saying, though, that her mental health is in, like, such a good place is another sign that, like, she should continue to go to, like, therapy. Like, go seek therapy. If that is, like, that is the theme recently in all of her recent videos about weight loss has been that mental health has been an important factor of it, whether she's doing good, whether she's doing bad. The reality is, with the several diagnoses she's mentioned in terms of, like, mental health diagnoses that she has, it's probably realistic that she's going to have some bad days come up again, right? Like, with no management whatsoever of it, no therapy, no medicine, whatever, because I'm pretty sure she said she was off all of the medicine related to her mental health, too. Like, with nothing to manage it, she's certainly going to have a bad mental health day again. That's how it works. That's just, like, how mental health works. And so I think, if she would consider therapy, we could continue this week. We could continue this progress, this stuff. I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but it just seems to me, looking at the pattern of behavior in her videos, that would be something that would be a positive.
So I went back to something that is
therapy.
What works for me?
Therapy?
I'm only eating about once or twice a day.
Oh.
So I know that's like, whoa, that's crazy.
Okay.
But I feel good when I do that.
Okay.
Every time I ate, though, it was a takeout meal. So, like, an example, if I wanted seafood boil, I said, you know what? I'm going to get a seafood boil. I'm going to allow myself to have this meal. I'm going to enjoy it. But that's all I'm going to eat for the day. And I thoroughly, physically, and mentally feel good doing that. I did go grocery shopping yesterday.
Here we are.
Because
here we are. We're back again. We're back to, Alex, I'll take shit we've already tried before for 500, please. Like, everything is it always comes back full circle at some point.
Because I know that I can't be eating takeout every single day, even if it is just one meal. So my goal for this week is I'm going to cook daily. Even if it's just one meal. I just really love to be the queen of moderation. What can I say? So it's like, if I want to order takeout, I want to allow myself to do those things, especially right now, because if I just cold turkey said, no more takeout, no more of the foods that you enjoy, then I'm going to fail.
Literally almost a year ago this time, we were having the same exact conversation. I'm not even kidding you. She started 2023 out the same way, talking extensively about takeout. Like, because for a while it was like, I'm going to try not to get takeout. I'm doing the 30 days no takeout challenge. Then it was like, well, I failed because I just tried to go cold turkey, not getting myself takeout. And the reality is if I just have takeout in moderation, I'm going to be fine.
I have done that repeatedly. It truly seems like I lose the most weight when I do this, when I just eat once or twice a day. It is freaking crazy. It makes the most sense, I know, like, obviously, because I'm eating less. Because if you guys remember, I think it was back in September where I lost like 30 pounds.
Do you remember? Back in September.
Because I was doing that. I was eating only once or twice a day, and I felt so good. But then my mental health got really, really bad, and I started eating more again, and then I gained the weight back, and then I haven't been able to get back to that. And then here I am back to that again. And I don't want it to stop now because I feel so freaking good. Okay. But that goes back to what I was saying. Like, if I did a what I ate today, and I only ate one meal, what type of video is that?
You could have told us all of this in that video, though. If you wanted to, you could have sat there and explained why you were only eating one meal a day in that video.
could have turned it into like a eat with me situation.
True.
I was afraid of what you guys would think of that. And I already know the comments. If I would have said, hey guys, this is the only thing I'm eating today, I'm going to film an eat with me, I already know what everyone would have said. They would have been like, oh my god, this is a mukbang, or mukbang era is back. Oh my gosh, she has no money. Oh my god, look at her eat on camera. Oh my gosh, she's so off track. Oh my gosh, she's lying.
I mean, people would say all that.
I put myself through that. But now
people
that I've
would say all
myself
that
a little bit more, if you guys do see and eat with me in the future that is also like, hey, this is what I ate today.
I'm so fascinated why you think now, because you explained it now, people are going to have a different opinion on it in the future. Because the reality is I don't know what you ate for that one meal that day that you could have uploaded. but if you had sat down, you could have explained all of that in that video, and people would have still said all the same things, which is that you are in need of money, that you're back to mukbangs. Like, you're not wrong about thinking that people will say that. I just don't know how you think explaining yourself now is going to prevent people from doing that in the future. Which, to be honest, I think you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, because then you're going to be back into a bad mental health space, because you're going to be frustrated that that's what the comments are, and then we're going to be back to square one again.
That is the reason why. So I don't know, folks. I feel good. I hope you guys
I'm glad you feel good.
I am literally almost in the 400s, and I am so excited to just finally say goodbye to the 500s. So next week, you guys,
you said goodbye to the 500s before.
This here dainty girly pop, hopefully with a 4 instead of a 5
all right,
in front of her number, because I'm over it. Anyways,
let's go.
I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye, girly pop. Dainty girly pop. Bye, dainty girly pop. I guess that's what she's calling herself now. The dainty girly pop. All right, well, that's all I got for today, besties. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and click the bell button so you get notifications when I post new videos. You can leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!